What's really going on with Jackson Water? Welcome to the 601 Network, Real Jackson News, where there's no fluff. This is real content, and we're going to keep this content in the context for the Jackson residents' ears only. What's really going on with Jackson Water? I'm your host, Foresight, and that's a question that I've been asking a lot of people in conversation. What's going on with this Jackson, Mississippi water? Why does it seem like the Jackson Water Department is holding the city hostage? They holding the city hostage. First this guy comes in, Ted Henifin comes in with this hunky-dory attitude about getting things back on track, and coming down here to help out, and this, that, whatever. But you're imposing sanctions on people trying to live their everyday life. He's imposing sanctions on people that's trying to live their everyday life with this water. It's like now we done did it's like, well, now we need to do the work. Now you're trying to find some excuse. Man, you got an $800 million budget to fix this infrastructure. That need to be the first thing you need to be working on, bro. You need to be working on that. My other question is, why does it seem like that the city council and the mayor don't have any say when those tax dollars is going to the city of Jackson, and they don't have nothing to say? What's that about? What is that really about? Why? That doesn't make sense to me. You got tax dollars coming into the city, but yet the mayor and the city council don't have anything to say. We got to put it all off on the judge's shoulders in order to make these decisions to air out the grievances that the water department and the council and the mayor may have in this whole entire process. What is that really about? What's going on here? What is really going on here? What is going on with this city? You go from one extreme to the next. One extreme to the next. We just came out from under a leadership that left no type of signature of positivity on this city. We just left leadership that left a signature of no positivity, of no type of legacy on this city. And that's the first thing that I would do if I was in that type of leadership. I'm thinking about leaving some type of legacy, creating some type of effect on or impression on the people. So when I do come about the leadership, the impressions is made. They're going to say that I did that, this, that, whatever. And then I would still be welcome in those types of circles under, for advisement or maybe make private phone calls being made to my private office. about certain issues that's going on with the city that I could probably give an input in. I want to leave that type of impression. But now we're dealing with this type of extreme. This guy's got the city on the chokehold. I mean, literally got the city on the chokehold. Apartment complexes, single family homes, everybody on the chokehold. I understand folks is paying their bills. Folks is not paying their bills. What about but you're affecting folks that is paying their bills. He's affecting folks that's paying their bills. Displacing people. It's a mess. That's all. That's about the nutshell of it. This is a mess. And until that judge finalizes a decision, it's going to remain this way. The mayor's doing what he can do. I had to come off to the mayor because he is doing his thing. Karma always seems to happen. You know, good and bad. You got good and bad karma. You know, because in my opinion, from what I have been reviewing about our current mayor, you know, just based on his actions, it seems to me that you know, he puts me in the mind of Lumumba Sr. He does, on his effectiveness in trying to give help to the residents of Jackson, Mississippi. That's what I see. He really puts me in the mind of Lumumba Sr. And for him to come in to me after this previous leadership that we had was a breath of fresh air of progress. He took the bus of progress and turned it around. He said, we're going the wrong way. Turn this bus around. And that's what he did. So my hat comes off to Mr. Mayor John Horn for being the leader that he is. But I want to talk, but I'm going back to this water situation because, like I said before, we're going from one extreme to the next. I'm like, well, what's next for Jackson? If we're trying to get our city on a right path, that type of controversy is not needed. We don't need that type of controversy. We go from scandal to controversy. That's crazy. We go from scandal to controversy. That's something we don't need right now. Not the citizens of Jackson. Not the citizens. Not the citizens. If I was the judge, everything go back to the city of Jackson. I'll give the city of Jackson 90 days to get it together. If they don't get it together within 90 days, then Ted Hennepin, let Ted Hennepin take it over all the way. Because this right here belongs to the city. This is a city problem. No other city in no other surrounding city in Mississippi, well, in Jackson, no, that surrounds Jackson, Mississippi, has a separate water department. All this within this, with their city, their city department. I know. Remember when I first came down here, you had the sewer department, the water department, bridges and drainage. You had the parks department. You had all these different types of departments. They all wore different uniforms. You had the city workers, maintenance workers. You had all the folks that works in the city buildings. All these different workers. That's just like they having a. What's the difference in having that and having a private police, having a government company, having a private police, having a private police organization? Well, they already do. The Capitol Police. The Capitol Police. They already do. That's, in my opinion, that's a slap in the face. To have it, the Capitol Police and the Jackson Police. That doesn't make sense. That's separation. Jackson Police needs to be Capitol Police. They all Capitol Police because this is the capital city. Why are you separating them? Why are you giving them different delegated of authority? Why are you giving them different delegated of authority? They only authorized to exercise that delegated authority in certain jurisdictions. And if they're all over the city of Jackson, then the whole city needs to be Capitol Police. And nobody needs to come in and nobody needs to come in and can come in and do what they want to do. They talking about the leadership, talking about, well, we got the sheriff. The sheriff is doing, is working. He's working. He wearing two hats. Now they're trying to find somebody to come in. Nah, y'all can't find. Okay, so why didn't they just make the chief of the Capitol Police wear the two hats instead of the sheriff? Didn't make no sense to me. Why did they make the sheriff? Why did they make that chief? Come on, Jackson citizens, talk to me. What's going on? Ask yourself that question. I know I'm digressing. I know I'm digressing. But that's just a question for me. I just, just a lot of things that's coming to my mind. That's like, it all ties in with the water, but I'm just giving examples. You ain't got no leadership, no one hat wearing leadership for the city of Jackson Police. You got this fella that's the sheriff of the sheriff of Hinds County. He's in here and he's wearing the two hats, like McMillan did. Just like McMillan did. Because y'all ain't got adequate leadership. You can't find no leadership to help lead the city. So why don't you just merge everything? And make everything Capitol Police. Why you know what I'm saying? And let that man go about his business. Let that man go on and be the sheriff. It's either he gonna be sheriff or he gonna be the mayor. I mean, not the mayor, but either he gonna be sheriff or he gonna be the chief of police. The brother Tyrese is doing a pretty good job. I gotta give it to him. He's doing a very good job wearing them two hats. But that cat didn't sign up for that. That cat did not sign up for that. That stuff fell in his lap. So, I mean, we talk about sensitivity. That's what we talk about, sensitivity here. Give me a break. That man got a family. He want to go home every night. I get tired of doing. I'd be getting tired of doing press conferences, attending meetings that I don't normally tend to. But I'm not going to rant too much on on this on police leadership, because that right there can go on. That could be a whole nother tangent by itself. This water situation is like, for me, it's what keeps things stagnated. Controversy keeps stagnating and keep progress from being made. What you trying to kick out? Is this the way you're going to kick people out of the city? Is this the way they're going to kick black folks out of the city? Is this the way you're going to kick black folks out the city? That's just the question to me. Because it don't add up. But it does make sense. A lot of these apartment complexes are owned by folks from out of town. And they don't give a damn. They just collecting their money, and they don't give a damn about the water. Paying that water bill. You got residents that lives in these apartments that is paying their rent. They have to be, they're going to get displaced. They're going to be put somewhere else because of the neglect that these apartment complex owners do not want to pay the water bills, and the residents are suffering. What is that really about? Then you get them same individuals. They got an LLC where another LLC is their registered agent. Give me a break. That crap don't happen up in Madison. Believe when I say, and I'll say it again. You cannot go up to Madison and get a business and be an LLC, and your registered agent is an LLC. They're going to kick you out. Who is being held accountable? Why is Jackson doing that? And that's what's going on with a lot of these apartment complexes. Folks are bail out and then pass it over to someone else, and they have and now they got the burden. They have to in the city, and they're a whole new owner. They should be able to get their own account on that facility, but they won't. But the Jackson Water hold them hostage to the current bill, the previous bill. No, you can't change it over until this was paid. I'm not saying that I'm alleging that that's going on, that's what it appears. That's what it appears. It's all alleged. I'm allegedly saying this. But because that's what it appears. That apartment complex giving up ownership or tons of money on a water bill, new owner come in, want to own it, can't change it over because bill hadn't been paid. And they think somebody's trying to get out from paying a water bill. They think it's a second owner. They think that it's the same owner that's coming up under another LLC. And I have no doubt that's what could be going on. That's what could be going on. Who knows? I don't know. You know? Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. But that's what but it appears to me that that's what's going on. But the Jackson Water is like, they just, like I said, I think they got the city on a chokehold. And will tie this mess up in litigation. Because you got attorneys, like he stated before. So anybody can get an attorney. I mean, attorneys, they don't come a dime a dozen. Well, they do come a dime a dozen. They're not a needle in the haystack. They come a dime a dozen. They're not a needle in the haystack. Oh, it's so hard to find attorneys? I doubt it. They do a Google search, man. City Jackson attorney, a whole slew of them pull up. So what are you saying, homeboy? What is they saying? And I just think that, but I, like I said, but I'm riding with the city. I'm riding with the city. You cannot use the courts to get what you want. But you know what I'm starting to see, and it could be me. It could be me. It very well could be me. But I'm starting to see that, I notice that when it comes to dollars, them courts move real slow. This Jackson, Mississippi courts move real slow in Hinds County. I noticed that when it comes to bread, they move real slow. If you somebody, if nobody, whatever, they get you out of there. But if it's bread involved, continuations is being made. What's really going on? I was just talking about the Ted DiBiase case. I just did a video on the Ted DiBiase case. And it seems to me that when it comes to money in a high profile and a whole lot of money, the courts move real slow. Courts move real slow. See, the courts is moving slow. I know the courts is moving slow on this water situation because these are taxes that we're talking about. These are taxes we're talking about. That's clear to me. That is so clear to me. Because it seems to me that like I said, John Horn and in the council, they don't, tax dollars is being generated, but at the same time, they ain't got no say so about what goes on with that water, and people that's paying their bills is paying taxes too, and that goes to the city of Jackson. That goes to the city of Jackson. And they don't have no say. So you know how much. So this guy been in here for about 3 years now. So what I'm saying is that so how much money has been accumulated in taxes thus far? Because that's what this is. This is a tax issue. This ain't nothing else. And that's why it's tied up. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you, I bet you all the tea in China, if they start addressing the tax issue, the judge gonna start talking sideways to Hennepin. Look here, bro, you need to get your together. He need to come in on them taxes. That's what it is, them tax dollars. Now I'm telling you, that's what it is. I know that's what it is. It's about them taxes. It ain't about the little 800 million that Ted Hennepin got for the infrastructure. It ain't about none of that crap. It's about them taxes. I can guarantee you that. It's always about taxes. Because for the amount of taxes that has been accumulated within the period of time that he has been in there with the Jackson Water, I know that's well over 800 million. It's up in the billions probably. Or close, or near there. Or near the billion. It's about taxes. That's why I think tied up. That's why it's tied up. And it's going to remain tied up until they can get this matter resolved. How we going to create some come up with some type of solutions to help these citizens. And see, they're sitting there talking about a lot of these citizens, these owners owning these bills and stuff with these delinquent bills. Okay, cool. It ain't the bills that's delinquent, it's the tax dollars. Think about it. You think about it. If you got $2 million in a delinquent bill, imagine what kind of taxes that is. That's being missed. That's being unpaid. This is taxes. This is about taxes. They trying to generate that bread for taxes. That's why, I believe that's why they trying to do it. Trying to find monies and stuff like that, trying to help out the resident. They're trying to find money to pay them, to help that, because they know them tax dollars will be generated. That's why I tied them in court. Taxes. That's why it's all tied up in court. It'll remain tied up in court. So, but this is something to think about. Residents, this is something to really think about. And first of all, I want to thank you all for watching. Everything that I have been saying thus far, views and opinions is of the host, me, and I'm not trying to, it's not for any platform. The views and opinions that's being expressed is of me, and it's not the views and opinions of any platform that hosts the 601 Network, Real Jackson News. And I want to say thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time on the next one. Goodbye for now.